Okay, Marty is finally completed the renovation, and now it's my job to prepare the house for the listing. And part of getting the house ready for sale is staging. So I actually hire a stager to come in and help me get the house ready. And the stager that I use is Jenny Hilborn from Center Stage. And Jenny and her team, they're gonna bring in some beautiful furniture, some artwork, towels, and some small decorations. And this is gonna make my listing photos look absolutely stunning, and we can drive as much traffic to the property for the open house. And I think that staging is really important when you're listing a house for sale, because it helps to allow your potential buyer to envision living in the property, but not too much stuff where it's going to clutter it up and take away from the property itself. And I think that the house actually always looks bigger when you bring in some pieces of furniture, because it helps to define each of the spaces. So I'm really looking forward to getting the staging complete, to complete our listing and hit our first open house really, really hard.
So I just want to take a minute to talk about what exactly we did to this property, because for those of you that don't know, we spent a year renovating this property, and so we got the keys in June 2017.
Yeah.
I think it was June 5th actually, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so why did we take so long renovating a house like this? Well, we actually spent the first 3 months underpinning the foundation and digging down the basement 30 inches. And the reason we did that was because in the main area in the basement, the tallest amount of headroom we had was 5'9", I believe, or 5'10", somewhere around there.
So I'm 5.
Don't lie.
Let's say 5'9.5".
Yeah.
And that's not even underneath the ductwork where it was much lower. And then there's also a back area where there was essentially no headroom at all. You basically had to crawl on your stomach if you wanted to go back there. It was just a crawl space.
Unusual.
So by digging the basement down, that allowed us to create a living area and an extra bedroom in the back, and not to mention a full 4-piece bathroom down there. So after we finished that, then that's when we started the process of reframing the entire house. But what ended up happening was, as we started ripping out some of the floor joists and we prepped the floor to resheet it, we realized that we really couldn't just resheet the existing joists. There was a lot of termite damage, and they were really twisted and warped joists anyways. We thought we would be able to salvage some of them, but by the time we ripped all the subfloor off, we realized there was nothing salvageable. So we ended up ripping out every single framing member, every beam, every joist, every stud in this house was ripped out. So then we were essentially left with a stone shell.
Yeah, everything was completely gutted. The only thing that was salvaged was the stone exterior. This is a completely rebuilt, brand new house.
So really, it kind of worked to our advantage, because once we had it all ripped out and we just had the stone shell, that really gave us the opportunity to frame properly from the ground up, make sure our floors were nice and flat, all of our walls are nice and square, and it gave us the options of creating a completely new floor plan, and also doing some things like creating a covered back porch that didn't even exist originally on this house. So we reframed right from the bottom up. Originally there was a small room in the loft, which again, my head was almost touching the ceiling there. It was essentially unusable. The floor was on like a major slope. So we ripped everything off, and when we went to reframe the second level, instead of just keeping a small loft at the back where the roof was a gable roof.
It was unusable.
So it had a gable roof at the back and a hip roof at the front originally. Well, instead we extended from the back, the gable right all the way to the front of the house. So now we've essentially got a loft through the entire second level, right using the entire square footage of the footprint of the house. So that allowed us to have 2 more bedrooms and 2 more bathrooms up there.
We took this house from being a 2-bedroom, 900 square foot bungalow with an unusable loft and turned it into a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom, 1,600 square feet above grade, plus another 780 in the basement. This house has been completely transformed into a completely different category of house now.
So you'll hear a lot of people say things like you should put all of your money into the kitchens and all your money into the bathrooms. So I don't necessarily disagree with that, but in a case like this, if that's all you do, you're seriously neglecting the potential of the house. So like we spent a lot of money enhancing the layout of this property and creating additional living spaces. So like I mentioned, the covered back porch, that allows you to go out and sit out of the weather, but enjoy a coffee, read a book. That's a totally new space that didn't exist before. And not just that, if you step down off the porch, we also created a stone patio with a little pergola, so if you want to sit in the sun. There was literally no space in the backyard at all. It wasn't even fenced in. So we fenced it in, that creates a nice private, large backyard, but then we created 2 different seating zones.
And people want the outdoor living space nowadays, to have your barbecue going year round, when you have family and friends over entertaining. The outdoor spaces that we've created, it's really, really easy to envision entertaining or sitting out quietly in the morning as well.
So when we're gonna renovate a property for the purpose of flipping, we wanna create additional living spaces. We don't just wanna rip out old tile and put in new tile and do cosmetic upgrades. We wanna actually enhance the property. We wanna turn it into something that it never was before. So that's why we did things like the covered porch and the patio and the space in the basement.
Yeah.
It gives you more square footage. So in our opinion, that is what you really should be doing if you wanna flip a house for profit.
And not to mention spending a great deal of the budget for fixing the bones of the house as well.
Exactly.
So a lot of these flippers talk about, you know, the cosmetics, the things that look really shiny and glitzy. However, before you even get to installing a kitchen, you need to make sure that what's behind the walls is done properly. Your plumbing, your electrical, we did spray foam insulation, even repointing the stone exterior, I would say is a good amount of quality work, and was a smart decision and a wise decision to spend a good amount of the budget.
Yeah, the spray foam insulation, I just want to mention that for a second. So there is no bat insulation in this house at all. We've got spray foam right from the basement floor all the way up to the peak of the roof. So that creates a thermal break. So in the basement, you'll never ever have that damp, musty smell. I mean, you go down there, it smells
brand new.
It smells like a brand new house. It's not, there's no dampness, no moisture at all. I highly recommend that if you're gonna get into doing a renovation like this, especially in an older house like this, lose the bat insulation. We've got state-of-the-art spray foam. These are good products to use. I wouldn't recommend anything else in 2018.
Now back to the kitchen and bathroom piece. Don't get us wrong, we spent a lot of money finishing this kitchen, and we certainly spent a lot of money creating and finishing 3.5 bathrooms. We're not saying to not spend money there, but that's not the highest piece of your budget that these TV show flippers always talk about.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it's an automatic successful flip.
Yeah, there's so much more to consider. You want to make sure you're creating a good house.
Yeah.
Then put your finishes in there.
Quality work.
So I just want to take a minute as well just to sort of talk about a bit of the finishes. So in the kitchen, throughout the main floor in the kitchen and the front entry and the powder room on the main floor, we've got stone travertine tile.
So beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I think it was the perfect choice for a house like this. It's a limestone house.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really look right if we just put some kind of modern porcelain or ceramic tile on the floor.
Nice character.
We've got quartz countertops. Again, the backsplash, it's hard to tell, but again, it's natural travertine stone backsplash. It's not cheap, but it looks really good and goes perfect with the floor. We did a nice pine covered ceiling in the kitchen. It's a feature that you won't really see in a lot of houses. I did that myself, crown molding as well, stained every board myself, as well as the textured ceiling in the dining room. We've separated both ceilings with a little curb just to add a nice detail, and I think it gives this place a really classic look. Perfect for the age of the house. Same thing with the covered porch. We did a cedared ceiling porch with some pot lights as well.
What we did not do was like a cheap white kitchen with some flashy hardware. So we see that a lot, that most people when they're flipping houses these days that we're noticing are just doing boring white kitchen. Everything is white, gray, bland as possible.
Subway tile.
Yeah, and they try to say, ooh, don't put your personal taste on anything. You want this appeal to absolutely everybody. And that's where we would disagree. We wanted to make sure that this house was beautiful with some stone and wood finishes and make sure that there was some character. And we paid like a good amount of respect to the history of this property as well. It was something that was really important to both Marty and I.
So another thing, hardwood, engineered hardwood, hickory throughout the main floor and top level. In the air, not in the bathrooms, but in all the living space other than the bathrooms. We did go with porcelain tile in the 3 bathrooms that have showers. I wouldn't recommend a natural stone for any bathroom or any wet zone really. It's just, there's too much potential for grime buildup. So a porcelain is a good choice anytime you're gonna be renovating a bathroom and a shower tub area, something like that. Again, quartz countertops in the bathroom.
I love the quartz.
Quartz in the kitchen, high-end stainless steel appliances, and in the basement we did a laminate click floor, but it's a high quality laminate, so you know it should resist scratching. It's got the underpad attached to it. So we've got the oak tread staircase. We've got the slate stone fireplace with the ash top, courtesy of JL's Tree Service.
Yeah, the ash tree mantle was a custom cut piece of wood for us, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It was what, like 400-pound piece of ash tree.
Yeah.
And it might be my favorite piece of this entire project.
And then again, we have the raised paneling detail on all of the windows in the main floor and
custom handmade by Marty Gordon himself.
And then there's the outside too. We resodded because we made a major mess in the front yard when we dug the basement out, so there was no option. We had to resod it. We widened the driveway, so now it's the widest allowable by according to the bylaws. So you can fit 4 small vehicles or 2 large trucks in the driveway right now.
And I love how the neighborhood cat walks his cute little paws through the wet cement, so it's a nice little detail.
And the armor stone at the front and at the back. Armor stone landscaping, courtesy of Bellis Landscaping, and then just a little simple garden with some mulch and flowers.
Yeah, looks very pretty.
But that's about it. I was actually hoping to have a sale locked in before we did this video, but we don't. And it's summer, and so we're listing the house, and I'm taking some holidays.
Wish us luck.
Bye, guys.
Don't smash that.
So we may just end up doing that. Another thing is I don't want to eat up too much of this yard.